So how are you guys doing today? Today we're gonna be reacting because I literally didn't have anything to do for content. So I just found out, searched around in the YouTube homepage trying to find something, and I found something very interesting called Mr. Nightmare with over 7 million views. So I thought, okay, this shit has to be interesting, right? So they make true stories, and one of them really catched my eye, and this one's called 3 Disturbing True New Home Horror Stories. And I moved in a lot of places in my life, so this seems really interesting to me. So let's check it out. Alright, y'all, let's go. New home horror stories. Oh shit, that shit too loud. Hold on. Yep.
3 years ago, my partner and I bought our first home.
Let's go.
It was a modest place, and our neighbors were wonderful. Life was good. So good, in fact, that 18 months later, when those neighbors decided to sell their house, which was larger and had more luxuries like a driveway, a garage, and a bathtub, we
type shit. Well, I mean,
we bought their house and put our old one right next door up for sale. After reading several motivation letters from potential buyers, we chose a Polish couple. They only spoke in English to us and not in Dutch like we did.
This is created by Mr. Nightmare, so make sure to check out his channel.
They asked for some tips about the house, and we had some pleasant, small-scale small talk. But looking back, that was the calm before the storm. Even before the storm, things felt off. We started experiencing bizarre disturbances at the strangest hours.
That looks nice. What do you mean, man?
Heavy banging,
it's
or
always
incredibly loud music blasting through the walls without warning.
That's just your neighbors, they have those teenagers in the garage in American movies, remember those?
The first red flag appeared when the neighbor came home with severe damage to both sides of his car. It looked like he had scraped against a guardrail at high speed on both sides.
That looks like a fucking bear scratch, what the hell? Like bear, scratched on the car or some shit?
A concrete pole on one side, and a trailer taking a turn too wide on the other.
That's weird.
We chose to believe him, even though the math didn't add up. One evening around 6 p.m., the neighbor called us in a total panic. He claimed people were outside his house, turning his security cameras away. He begged us to check it out and call the police. We looked, and sure enough, 2 men were breaking in. We called the cops immediately.
That's weird.
It took the cops 20 minutes to arrive, so the burglars were already gone. The neighbor's wife came racing into the street,
I don't think it was a burglar,
and frantically ran inside to her sweet little French bulldog, and the police, who were at the time already there. When I was walking my dog curiously, I saw the husband park his car 3 streets away and walk to the scene, as if he was hiding the vehicle from the police. But that thought didn't occur to me at the moment.
That's
later, when we checked the doorbell
suspicious. This ain't even scary, it's just like a mystery or some shit.
Calmly discussing which house to target in Polish. Nothing was stolen, no one was caught. I told the police it felt like a setup, but I never heard back. A week later, I was at a housewarming party when my partner texted me. The music next door is insanely loud again.
Wow, that's...
5 minutes later, he called
Hey, you know what?
And his tone changed to pure terror.
You know what?
His car had just come tearing.
Weird neighbors are always everywhere you go, and I can understand it. But in any other case, I never try to get involved with anything. If my next door neighbor has someone, something is happening to them, and I think it's weird, it's like they say a burglar came in or I don't know, a monster came into our house, I wouldn't even call anyone. Why? Because I don't like to get involved in these things. You know why? Because if you've seen those in those action movies, whenever someone gets involved with criminal activities, the criminal that has been, arrested comes looking for revenge. I don't want that shit. I don't want the same burglar or the friends of that burglar come into my house and try to kill me. So what I'm trying to say here, that I never tried to get involved, and I don't want to get involved.
2 men were frantically loading the car with high-end electronics, like flat screen
TVs. In fact, if this guy is suspicious, just let it go, man. Don't get involved. If he knows you have to go. You have to die. He's gonna kill you. He's gonna kill you. Just let him go. Just let it go.
Officers intercepted the men while they were still loading the car. When asked for ID, the men claimed they didn't have any. Then things got surreal. The man behind the wheel looked the officer in the eye and claimed to be my neighbor, using my neighbor's actual name. But there was a catch. In the 9 months that they lived next to us, My neighbor had never spoken a single word of Dutch. This man, however, spoke fluent Dutch with a thick Polish accent.
Okay.
Realizing the game was up, the men slammed the car into gear, and a violent pursuit followed through our quiet streets until the police managed to box them in and arrest them. But my partner could still hear movement inside our neighbor's house. The police went back in and dragged out a third suspect. As we were inside our own home with an officer to report the damage to our property.
Like I said, he's suspicious, but don't get involved, please.
We turned around, and there he was. The actual neighbor. He was unrecognizable. His face was a swollen, bloody mess. One eye was swollen shut, his mouth was torn, and his arm hung at a useless angle, covered in what looked like defensive stab wounds.
What the fuck, dude?
Feral, aggressive, and broken. The police officer tried to intervene, but the neighbor flat out refused to file a report or cooperate. Since the victim wouldn't speak, the officer had no choice but to send him back to his house.
Hey,
later that night, the neighbor rang our bell again. He was trembling. He confessed that he cheated on his wife, and he claimed that she had sent people to take him out. He begged to sleep at our house. Terrified and wanting no part of this underworld drama.
Relationship problems?
My partner offered to drive him to the hospital instead.
Like, bro, come on, man. This is the part that I don't like.
Telling neighbors we're staying elsewhere for the night because.
You know what? Neighbors, on the other hand, okay, we got all these traumas and shit. Neighbors are always an inconvenience. You know what I'm saying? They're awkward. Don't like them. Either don't contact or talk with neighbors at all. Because me personally, I think every time in every house or neighborhood I lived in, each time I try talking to the neighbor, it's awkward as shit, bro. Like it's so awkward to talk to neighbors, man.
Safe.
You're trying to be nice and shit, but like, nah, it's not gonna work out.
Locked every door and tried to.
It's never. It's weird to have neighbors, and I don't like it.
A specific low growl he only uses when someone's at the door. We checked the doorbell camera.
This the dog.
There he was.
Makes sense.
The neighbor was back from the hospital, standing on our porch, ringing the doorbell multiple times. We sat in the dark, watching the screen in silence. Then, after what felt like an eternity, a car turned onto the street.
Oh, fuck no. This is true, isn't it? What the fuck?
Scrambled off the porch and hid behind our cars in the driveway, crouching in the shadows.
Yo, hell no.
Man lurking in the dark behind our own cars was one of the most unsettling things I've ever seen. The car stopped.
Hey, nah.
It was his wife. She walked toward her front door.
What the fuck?
Paused and glanced at our driveway. She saw him. We held our breath, waiting for a confrontation, or worse. She walked toward him, and as she stepped into the pale yellow glow of the street lamp, she began to wail, a haunting, guttural crying. He didn't say a word, and she kept asking questions, her sobbing getting louder and louder, echoing through the empty street. Eventually, they both got into the car and drove away. We didn't see them for 3 days. We didn't even know where their dog was. The wife eventually returned alone. She found the dog inside, and she told us she doesn't think she'll ever see her husband again. Whatever the real story is, drugs, debt, or marriage turned lethal, I've realized one thing. I don't think I want to know.
What the heck? That's so weird. All right, bro. The second story. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You know what? I kind of like this. I'm gonna like this.
2017, when I moved into a new house in the suburbs.
Marvel Spider-Man wasn't even released that day.
My parents and little sister.
It was that old.
Before I get into the juicy part of the story, I need to explain a few details about my room and its placement in the house for everything to make sense from my point of view. The house we moved into is a split-level home, meaning it has staggered floor levels connected by short flights of stairs.
Okay.
My room was neither on the main floor nor
yeah, he explained it, but I didn't get it.
It sat exactly in between the two, at ground level. One wall shared space with the garage, and the opposite side had a large window that looked out into the backyard.
Okay.
At the time, that window had plastic vertical blinds with several missing panels, so even when they were fully closed, I could still see outside through the gaps.
Okay.
On the garage side of my room was my closet, which had large sliding mirror doors. This meant that when I was in bed, no matter which side I faced, I could always see my window reflected back at me. I started noticing things about a year.
I get it now. So what he's going to do actually is like he's going to try to pick up a clothes or something, or going to change. And the moment he opens the door, he's going to see in the front mirror and see the backyard and see someone in that porch or some shit.
After we moved
I don't know. It's something.
When I was 15, I remember watching YouTube videos on my tablet late at night since I had trouble falling asleep.
It was 2017, so it was definitely pretty good stuff.
I left it open because it was really hot, and we hadn't invested in an AC unit yet. So I relied on whatever breeze I could get. After hearing what sounded like footsteps or shuffling, I quickly paused my video and put the tablet down. The noise stopped along with the video,
this guy's a Gen Z guy,
which made me think it had just been part of what I was watching, or maybe my imagination.
Nothing's your imagination, my little bro.
And heard it again. I looked to my left toward the window, but didn't see it.
Yo, there's actually someone in there. I'll be running to my mom and dad's room, bro. I'm not sleeping in that room ever again.
Nights later, during my
it's over.
Late night YouTube
it's over.
And show
I'm never sleeping again.
I heard the shuffling again.
Nah, bro, it's over for me.
I paused what I was watching and listened. This time longer than before.
Bro, he's gonna break the window.
I swear I could hear breathing now too.
Oh, come on, you fucker.
I glanced at my window, but again, there was nothing.
Bro, you gotta be kidding.
I convinced myself it was just my mind playing tricks on me.
There has to be a ghost or some shit.
Instead.
There is no way.
I picked my tablet back up to resume the video. I saw something move at my window through one of the gaps in the blinds.
Bro.
Reflected in the mirror.
Bro, just get out of there, man.
A chill ran down my spine.
Bro, just get out of there. What are you still? Why are you yapping? Just get.
Deciding it was better to be safe than sorry. I told him what I had seen and heard.
Just get out of there, man.
Clearly doubted me.
Listen, me personally, I'll be sprinting to my mom and dad's room. Later, this ain't it. This ain't it, bro. This ain't it.
And didn't see anything. He told me that if someone had been there, he would have heard them come in through the squeaky gate, or he at least would have heard them leave. He also
checked the ring
camera, which showed no one walking around the house toward the backyard. I suggested that the person could have jumped the fence into the neighbor's yard.
Yeah, sure.
He quickly shut that down, saying we lived in a safe neighborhood, and that I should stop watching scary movies.
Whoa, what you mean, man? I
believed him.
You know what?
I went back to bed.
You went back to bed again? Oh, there's no way this guy's real.
Again.
There's no way he went. Listen, he heard those footsteps. He heard those, breathing shits. He saw the figure. He heard the footsteps on the grass on his backyard, and he still chose to go and sleep in that room.
And tried to focus.
Yo, shout out, cause he.
When winter came and everything
was
covered in snow,
he's brave.
And I eventually forgot about it. But the following year, it started again. It didn't happen often, once or twice a month at most, and always past 11 p.m. I tried not to pay attention to it, even when the noises sounded like clear footsteps or deep breathing. I watched a lot of scary movies and videos, so I kept telling myself that had to be the
typical 15-year-old. Always watching scary movies.
Even though I tried to believe it was all in my head, part of me was terrified of being proven wrong. One night, against my better judgment, I looked, not directly at the window. That was too scary.
Okay.
I looked at the mirror instead.
Sure, buddy. Okay, sure, buddy.
I swear, I saw the silhouette of a person. I ran upstairs again.
Bruh.
And once again, after checking the entire backyard, my dad told me the same thing he had the year before. And once again, I believed him.
Bro.
This went on for a while.
The dad glaze is sick, like seriously a problem, bro. You gotta go to the therapist.
My mirror
bro is glazing his dad like crazy. Like whatever he says, he's gonna believe it. It's like his dad's gonna say, I don't know, Michael Jackson went to the moon once, and he's gonna believe that shit. Like,
one night in early December of 2021, there was a huge windstorm. I was watching a stream with my boyfriend over Discord when I decided.
Oh, it's a girl. Okay, I thought from the beginning of this story, I thought it was a freaking boy, but I guess not. It's a girl. And in any case, if this is a boy and he's gay at 15, you gotta get
a glass of water around 11:30 p.m. On my way,
noticed
my parents sitting
in the living room. But you can't let that guy live.
They rarely stayed up that late, let alone outside their bedroom.
Sure.
Their faces looked tense and preoccupied. I asked if everything was okay, but they brushed it off, assuring me it was nothing.
Bro.
I assumed I had walked in on a conversation not meant for my ears and headed back toward my room.
Bro, I don't give a fuck.
As I turned toward the stairs, Flashes of red and blue light caught my attention through the front window.
Red and blue? You mean like police?
Pulling into our driveway.
See, you literally said
My parents immediately stood up as if they'd been expecting it, and they rushed me to my room, telling me they'd call me if needed. I wanted answers, but I knew it wasn't time to push, so I went back to my room, curiosity eating away at me. Not even 2 minutes later, I was called back upstairs. This time, they didn't keep me in the dark. My dad explained that about 15 to 20 minutes earlier, during the windstorm, he had stepped into the backyard to make sure nothing had been blown over before going to bed. While scanning the yard, he noticed the light from my bedroom window illuminating something near it. As his eye adjusted, he realized it was a man standing motionless just outside my window, staring in. My dad yelled at him and started moving toward him, but the man immediately turned and ran. He jumped the back fence effortlessly, as if he'd done it 100 times before, and he disappeared into the neighboring yards. In that moment, everything I had feared for years
you should have gone out of there now.
And became a fact. I hadn't
This is your fault.
it, so
you know that, right?
Had been there.
Yep, this is your
Terrified.
fault.
My parents called the police right away.
And yes, it's your fault. What do you mean?
Warn her.
It's your fault.
The older woman who lived there didn't open the door. Instead, she yelled at them to leave or she would call the cops herself. The police eventually arrived.
Bro, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna beat your ass, alright? It's your fault. I see you. I can see you through the screen, man. I can see you through the screen.
Cameras, which we did. In retrospect, my back neighbor's reaction still feels deeply suspicious to me. Why was her first response to threaten my parents when all they did was knock on her door to warn her? It raises a couple questions, such as, was she living with that man my dad saw? Or had she seen him too and genuinely thought it was him knocking? Did I know the person who stood outside my window for years, or was it just some creepy neighbor who noticed a teenage girl's room with poorly covered blinds and took advantage of it?
I mean,
or was he working up to something?
I guess. I mean, shit. I've never been that age. Maybe if I get older, I'll crave girls too. I mean, I don't know.
Makes every sound I brush
but I'm just only 16 now.
What I imagined,
which makes no
every
sense.
silhouette I force myself not to look at feels so much more terrifying. I've since switched rooms and can't look at windows facing our backyard the same way anymore. Thank God mine now faces the street. What scares me the most isn't
facing the street is even worse, man.
It's how long it went on for, without anyone knowing, and how easily it could have continued.
Crazy. Alright, story 3. Anonymous. I mean, isn't everyone anonymous at this point? Let's go to the next one.
It was a cold winter day in mid-December, and I was 15 years old.
Look at that scenery.
I originally lived in the suburban area of Alberta with my parents in our apartment.
Living in these
were
woods,
low on space.
Fire, unless a bird comes and eats your butthole.
We knew we had to move to a bigger house.
Still the same, right?
It seemed pretty fire for us at first.
Look at this shit.
A house just a
this
few
shit
blocks
fire.
down that was selling for a very cheap price tag.
Especially when those
Granted,
campuses.
It wasn't the best looking or in the best area, but it had room to grow in. And for the price we paid, we could renovate to our heart's content. My dad did renovate slightly with the money we had left, but mainly the basement, as it was almost unusable without being fixed up. Cleaning, carpeting, new beams, fixing the bathroom, and fresh wallpaper with a cool pattern I got to choose myself.
Yeah.
For the first couple of months, living there had been great, and I was really enjoying the new house.
See that shit?
Until the first questionable moment came along.
Makes sense, right?
It was my father's birthday.
And all glass, making all glass faces. Look at this.
A restaurant in the evening.
Yeah.
All went well until we
came
you
fancy.
Door wide open.
2 forks?
My mom was absolutely shaken, and we begged my dad to drive us away from the house while she called the police. My dad grabbed a large, heavy wrench from the toolbox in the truck and went into the house to search for the intruder. My mom and I called the cops anyway, and we sat there for 5 excruciatingly long minutes before they arrived.
Yeah, sure.
They searched the house and found my dad, and he came back out and told us nothing was actually stolen, and no one was in the house either. However, some of our items were moved or knocked over, specifically the books on my bookshelf.
It goes.
The police eventually finished their search and told us the same thing. We were still a little paranoid, but finally, we went inside our home.
Yeah, the last thing, the last thing that can come to your mind is ghosts. I mean, shit, what else?
And sometimes underneath our basement, Might I add, my room was there, in the basement.
Is this the start of this 3 stories? Nothing has been artificial, like no ghosts, no stupid shit.
That was until
real
one
shit
night,
that can
something
happen,
unexplainable happened. It was around 2 in the morning, and I was playing with my Nintendo DS under the sheets with no volume, so my parents didn't know I was still awake.
Yeah, we all did that. Come on. He knows ball. We all did that shit.
Clear laughter coming from the wall to the side of my bed. My heart froze in time, and my eyes probably widened to the size of plates. I didn't know what I should do. Ignore it? Call my parents? Go investigate?
Go investigate? Are you stupid? Do you not watch horror movies?
After about 30 minutes of laying still as a stone,
bro, I guess
decided it must have just been my sleep-deprived imagination, and finally went to sleep. I woke up the next morning in my bed. As usual, nothing changed. Despite that laugh still burning in my mind, I tried to pass it off.
What the fuck, dude?
Same strange noises every
this guy's an idiot, I swear to God, man.
But that felt normal for me now. This is when the next occurrence happens. By this time, my sister was already born, and since the basement was big enough,
that's sweet.
Plus my mom trusted me with keeping her safe at night,
right?
She shared the room with me. Now, this doesn't mean my mom didn't use baby monitors, because she did.
I thought she was going to say
She kept the parent units in the living room,
sure,
and the other in the kitchen. One night, my parents had gone out for a late-night dinner and left me to take care of the house until they got back.
Oh.
I was in the living room watching a movie. When I got up to get a snack from the kitchen, that's when I noticed odd noises coming from the baby monitor.
Oh my God, no!
And my heart sank. I knew no one else was home, but those were footsteps. Loud, heavy footsteps. Suddenly,
maybe the baby is taking his first steps.
My
Shit!
sister started crying.
Oh no!
A faint shh sound come out of the speaker, followed by.
It's over. If I ever hear that, you know what? I'm killing myself right there, here and there, bro. It's over. It's over for me. For everyone else, it's over. I'm not going anywhere.
I instantly did the first thing that came to mind, which now, thinking clearly in retrospect, could have gotten us both killed.
What?
I ran as quickly as I could up to my parents' room and grabbed my father's rifle.
Oh.
However, I didn't have the key to unlock the trigger lock or any of the ammunition.
Damn.
I figured I would pretend it was loaded and try to hide the lock with my hand. If I was attacked, I would use the buttstock to defend myself. All I thought of was getting my sister to safety. When I got to the basement door, I opened it quietly and walked down the steps, turning to face my sister's crib.
It's downstairs? Are you serious?
As well as the baby monitor being on the ground sideways. I mustered all the courage I could and yelled, "I'm armed. Come out before I find you." Still nothing. I grabbed my sister and ran upstairs. I closed the basement door and pushed a chair under the handle to keep it locked while I called my parents. They called the police and got home as fast as they could.
Fuck, dude.
The police got to my house before my parents did, so they made me sit in the back of the cop car with my baby sister while one of the police officers went inside to investigate. When my parents arrived, I told them everything that happened. They were confused but very concerned. They knew I wasn't the type of kid that would lie about something like this.
Okay, maybe not, but if I told that when I was a kid, no one would believe me. No one believed me when I was a kid. Because I used to joke around a lot, you know, prank shit, you know, joke around a lot. So if I said something, no one's gonna believe me.
In my room, there was a bookshelf that came embedded into the wall. So I was very confused when my dad asked to look behind it.
Look behind it? Why would you do that?
I asked my father to come inside with him and point out what he meant.
You can do whatever you want.
Lo and behold, when we got downstairs,
at this point, people are making stupid decisions.
Open slightly, like a door, and the basement window that leads to the backyard was opened all the way, with my desk chair planted under it. Behind the bookshelf was a small room with some of the pipes to our house.
Damn.
And the pipes wrapped around some of the walls. On the ground were some food wrappers, one of our cups that had gone missing, lotion.
Bro was camping in there waiting.
Along with an apple that was partially eaten but still slightly fresh.
Bro.
Someone had been living in our house, and we didn't even know it this whole time.
Damn.
The police said that most likely while they were outside talking to us, whoever was here escaped through the open window.
Damn.
They said to call if we ever noticed anything suspicious. However, they didn't think the person would come back now that we knew of their secret. That wasn't even the most horrifying part, however.
Type shit.
A few days later, I pushed open the bookshelf myself and explored it top to bottom. That's when I found a tiny hole in the wall. And when I looked through, it pointed directly to my bed and dresser. Whoever was in there was watching me sleep, get dressed, play my video games, do my homework, speak on the phone, everything. They knew most of my life. I'm an adult now, and I live in my own apartment with my boyfriend. My parents still live
This is another girl?
To this day, I worry for
God forbid us,
and hope whoever that was
be a boy.
never returns.
Okay, thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. This was Mr. Nightmare's 3 true new home horror stories. And that was pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie, the stories are catchy. The reason it was pretty good is because it didn't really evolve on unnatural stuff such as ghosts, you know, zombies or some shit like that. It actually focused on, like real events that can happen in real world and can happen to you too or to me in the future, you know, all of us. And that's really interesting in my opinion. I'm not sure if it's actually true story because there's actually a lot of videos on the YouTube saying it's a true story, but some of them are not actually true. I'm not sure about this one because that seemed, you know what, those 3 sounded legit, and one of them even showed footage, so that's pretty interesting. If you guys liked it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you guys next time in the next video. Peace.